Hey everyone, Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal, okay? A little spirituality today. The Bhagavad Gita. It is the rudder of my life. It came to me in a very dark place of my life. And I want to share with you a story of spirituality and about Eastern wisdom and how it affected this person's life and how it could affect yours as well. It was about 2008, 2009. I had just had a breakup with a long-term relationship. We were together for 4 years. I had quit the restaurant I was working in. Now, if you never worked in a restaurant before, you should know that the lifestyle is pretty hectic sometimes. When you get out of work at night, 11:30, midnight, you go and hang out with your bartenders and the servers and the other cooks, and you have drinks and other stupeficants, and it's a lifestyle. And I hit the wall. And so I quit the restaurant. I got a job at a daycare center being the house chef for toddlers, infants, and pre-Ks up to 5 years old. There was about, say, 60 students on 3 floors of this converted triple-decker in Cambridge in Central Square. A lot of kids from the vulnerable community. It was very blended, very mixed, very diverse. And I learned a lot. There was a lot of toil involved, up and down those stairs. And taking care of the kids had a major impact on me. Yet I had to do all my own dishes. I had to do my own ordering. I had to keep within federal guidelines. It was so draconian. The portioning was dependent upon these federal guidelines. Well, it was X amount of food for Y amount of people equals Z on your inventory. And there was no deviation from that. And the worst part was the teachers. There were, they would literally try to eat me out of house and home. They were supposed to model good eating habits for the children with balanced meals. And they would end up trying to, raid my pantry. And that was a constant struggle. It was a lot of toil. And I was listening to NPR, Terry Gross's Fresh Air, and I'm washing these dishes, really hating my life. And it's an interview with the comedian Mike Myers. And he just had a movie that kind of flopped. It was called The Love Guru. And it was based upon the old Peter Sellers, Blake Edwards style of movies, and that I grew up with as well. He had this wonderful story about his father who had passed away. And his father was a Scottish immigrant to Canada. And he said there's nothing more Scottish than a Scottish expat. And his house was like a little Scotland inside. And Mike Myers was talking about how greatly impacted he was by spirituality and the self-help guru, Dr. Deepak Chopra. And so he got my interest. I was already an ordained minister. I was already a spiritually independent autodidact, hungry for this knowledge. And my mind was a very fertile place for these seeds that blossomed into these trees that I now seek shade under. So The Love Guru, I picked it up on DVD, and I loved it. It's a hockey movie. It's a spirituality movie. It's really funny. And it's one of my favorite Mike Myers movies. And it greatly impacted me. So I started reading Deepak Chopra books. I have so many of his audiobooks. I love the man. I saved my life, but he gave me the map and where to get help. Specifically the Bhagavad Gita. And my first experience with the Bhagavad Gita was his translation, sacred healing sound, sacred. I'm not going to butcher the name, but he had passages from the Gita, and he would elaborate on it, and that was where I was first introduced to the Gita. I then went to a bookstore and got the Gita according to Gandhi. Now, this was written by Gandhi while he was in prison, and he translated the Gita from Sanskrit into his, not only his local dialect, so his people can read it, but he did it in English as well. And it was so well thought, and all this great information put into my lap. And then after that, I evolved, and an ex-girlfriend got me a book called Meditation by Eknath Eswaran. And it was about passage meditation, and about the and how you can use a mantra to help you find center. And he puts this interesting idea across. Where is the thinker? Are you your thoughts? Or is the thinker between those thoughts? And the ability to slow down those thoughts and to find the thinker who sits in between those thoughts, that is where you really sit. That is where I really sit, and where I really am. Am I my thoughts? No, I am the thinker between those thoughts. And I'm able to find that gap, that space. So with the mantra, you can use any mantra. You can use prayer. You can use movie quotes. I use the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 14. And I'll share it with you. Matra sparsas tu kanteya, si nosna, sukha, dukada, agama, paino, neatness, tam didixasva parata. And that means, I'll get into that in a second, but let me explain the Gita in a little greater detail. But before that, then I graduated to this 3-volume Bhagavad Gita from Eswaran. And it's a study version. It's got Sanskrit, it's got English, and it's got full elaboration. And it's truly the rudder of this boat in my life. And it's where I get my steadiness from. Okay, the Gita is part of a huge Hindu war epic. It's the Hindu version of the Iliad, wherein there's a huge civil war. You have the good guys, the Pandus, the 5 brothers, and they want to reclaim their birthright as kings of Hastinapuri. And they're contended by their cousins, the evil-minded Dorojana and his 99 brothers. And they represent the forces of ignorance. And it's a huge civil war, so, everything's split. And they're about to fight in this 18-day war that will change the world. What happens is, the hero of the story his name is Arjuna. His best friend is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is an avatar of Brahman. And he's taken form to restore Dharma, cosmic truth, to the world. And it is about where the world turns from a heroic age into our current age. This current age in Hindu mythology is called the Kali Yuga. We are in the spiritual dark age. And the brightest people can only shine even brighter in this dark age. So Arjuna is the warrior. He's the mighty archer. He's the Hindu Achilles. And Krishna is he's a whimsical, funny guy, and he's got a great sense of humor. And he is the charioteer. He told Arjuna, I won't fight, but I will drive your car. You shoot the arrows. So it's the day before the fight. Arjuna says, Krishna, let's go to the battlefield real quick. I want to see who we're fighting today. And so they go down to the battlefield, and Arjuna looks across the battlefield and sees the Pandu army arranged. He sees his teachers, his grandfather. He sees his cousins. He sees old friends. He sees nephews, relations. And it's also part of it that evil can't stand alone. Evil is always supported by good people who are under the wrong idea. And it's very important to understand intellectually and emotionally. Arjuna has a panic attack, what we define today as a panic attack. Arjuna drops his bow and says, "How can you ask me to kill my relations? This is not worthy. How can I do this?" He drops his bow, he weeps in his hands, and he says, "I will not fight." Krishna, being an avatar of the Lord of all creation, slows down time and creates this magic bubble where he's able to reveal the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And it's 18 chapters, it's pretty short, and it's the kernel of the Upanishads and all the Vedas. Everything that you can find is distilled down into the Gita. And Krishna says, "You weep for who you should not weep. Death is certain for the living. Birth is certain for the dead. You're misplaced here." And here comes my mantra. While he's weeping, Arjuna is weeping, Krishna puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "Matra sparsas tu konteya." He says, this world and the reflections you get back through your sense organs, it's suffering and it's joy. It's changing seasons. It's this and that. It's transitory. It's fleeting. Therefore, O hero, endure this. And Arjuna, after the elaboration of the following 18 chapters, is reminded of his dharma, that he's a Kshatriya, a warrior class. There are no scars on a Kshatriya's back, only on his front. Why? Because they don't turn away from battle. Now reminded of his true purpose and his dharma, Arjuna is able to pick up his bow and fight. And not just fight, but win this war. Because if they lose Kurukshetra, they lose dharma. So even though we're going into the dark age, the Kali Yuga, dharma was maintained and kept and preserved. And Arjuna, like me, suffers from panic and anxiety. And I learned that my panic and anxiety can be managed and it can be endured. And that these moments of stress, these moments of anxiety, we can endure them and go through them. Now, there's the level of your body, once it's triggered, that needs to be attended to, sure. But I find solace through this wisdom, and it's helped me through my life over this past decade. And it's something that I would love to share with everyone. And it's helped me greatly. Now, I still suffer from panic, I still suffer from anxiety, but it's better, it's manageable, and I can do this. My dharma, me as a Kshatriya, is being a chef and doing my duty. And it's called Lokasamgraham, the job I was born to do. Service, to serve other people, to serve the Krishna inside of me, to serve the Krishna inside of you. And that's what I do. And I do it well, and I do it with a sense of joy and true love and empathy. And I'm able to do that because of the wisdom of the Gita. And I'm going to wrap this up, and because I don't want to bore you, I want to turn you on to something new, or turn you on to something old. And the entire story of the Mahabharata, the Great Civil War of 18 days, is an amazing story, and I'm quite well versed on it. And I'm here for you if you have questions. So please, give me a thumbs up if you like this content. Give me a thumbs down if you think that I'm going to hell for being a blasphemer. I don't believe in that. Subscribe to this content if you'd like, and leave a comment in the comment section. The Bhagavad Gita is perhaps, well, for me, in this personal opinion, the best form of spirituality and how to connect with this wisdom. It's very basic and it's very common sense. There's no sin involved. It's all about conscious choice making. Are you a bundle of preconditioned reflexes, or are you the conscious choice maker dictating the course of your life? Are you going to be a prisoner to your own reflexes and your own conditioning and your own panics? Or can you transcend this moment? Can you endure this moment? Oh, hero, endure this. And that is something that has saved me. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Deepak Chopra. Thank you, Mike Myers. I am the direct beneficiary of your wisdoms, and I can only hope to share this with other people who need a way out of the darkness. It's with the light, the effulgence of your own soul. And once you let the light out, you shine. And it does attract people. It does attract other people. Other people see this light. And it's there, and it's yours. And it's yours to claim, to reclaim. That's all I have for today. God bless you. Namaste. I love you. Krishna loves you. Love yourself. Love this world. Even love the challenges it gives you, because you can endure it, and you will endure it. You will get through this. The only way out is through, as Robert Frost said. I thought I made that up post-therapy, but I found that out recently too, that it's been written. Cheers. Have a great day. God bless.